So one of the things that I spend a lot of time working on, probably one of my favorite organs to work on, is the liver. The reason I like the liver so much is because it is the portal out of the body. When we talk about detoxification, it is the king of everything we're trying to work on. Kidneys are going to be your limiting reagent. So whenever you're working on liver, you've got to keep track of the kidneys. You're going to have anxiety, depression, low back pain. You're going to have blood pressure issues. You're going to have detox reactions and things like that if you don't keep track of the kidneys. And we'll talk about the kidneys later. But so obviously, castor packs, kidney complex, that type of stuff, important. When people talk about the gut, for example, and they say, "Oh, your gut's super important. You got to keep your gut clean. You got to clean up that gut. Pull the inflammation out of the gut." What do you think pulls the inflammation out of the gut? The liver. And that's one of the things we have to kind of keep in mind, is because the way the body works from an inflammation standpoint is one of the major ways your body gets rid of inflammation is it sucks it into the lymphatics, or it sucks it in the bloodstream. The blood and lymphatics take it all the way throughout the body. They end up in the liver. The liver cleans that stuff out, pulls out a lot of that waste, it denatures it, fixes it, pushes it around, and then that decreases the level of toxicity in the blood. And the blood can then, through osmosis, go out and pick up more trash from the lymph, from the tissues, like your intestines, your stomach, your heart, your brain, your left pinky toe, that gets it from everything and takes it back to the liver and cleans it out, which is great and kind of problematic. The reason why it's great is because you can just clean the liver and the liver will clean the whole body. It's not great because you have to recognize, as you're trying to clean the liver's trying to clean the blood and the lymph. As the blood and the lymph start to get clean, they're going to clean the whole body. So cleaning the liver takes a long time. You can knock out symptoms like from chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia and things like that pretty quickly in 2-3 months. But keeping it clean, getting it clean is really where the magic is. And the problem with that is that you're going to constantly be getting more toxins in your body from processed foods and from touching receipts and from the atrazine in the water and all the trash in our air and all the chemicals that we talk about all the time. As those go into you, your body has to pull them out, and as it pulls it out, that's what's hitting the liver. So when we talk about coffee enemas and things like that, which is by far my number one favorite thing for the liver, it is the only thing I know of where it's the cheapest, the fastest, and the best. Usually you pick 2 of those 3, but coffee enemas, that's kind of the fastest, best, cheapest way to go. I've gotten up to where I do 3 a week now, just because with all the workout stress I'm doing, part of my recovery is I'm as you work out really hard, your body creates a lot more inflammation. Like everybody's familiar with that, the lactic acid. You go to the gym, you work out, you're sore the next day. Well, the reason why you're not sore 3 days later is because your liver can actually pull that waste out and help you kind of move that trash out. So that's one of the reasons I've upped my maintenance of my liver. The liver also produces a lot of digestive enzymes, specifically bile. Bile helps your body emulsify fats, and I talk about this all the time. So if you've heard it, you're going to hear it lots more. But when we talk about gallstones, for instance, gallstones aren't a real thing. This is my ring. This is my hand. This is my ring in my hand. It's not a hand ring. My hand didn't make it. The reason I point this out is because the gallbladder, which is not part of the liver but very closely related, is just a bag. It holds the things that your body puts in it. It is designed to hold bile salts that your liver creates. So what ends up happening is if you have gallstones, it means the bile that is in your gallbladder coming from your liver has congealed. It has turned from a really thin, really slick WD-40 type oily consistency to this rubber cement goo that is now in your gallbladder. And the medical solution is, oh, we'll just cut the gallbladder out because, why not? That radically, alters or, destroys your body's ability to properly emulsify fats and get the nutrients out of them and things like that you need. But that's neither here nor there. So the problem we get into is that, for instance, when we get gallstones, your body has lost methylated B6. So when we start looking at the liver and as a whole, like, oh, well, we got to do coffee enemas to clean it up and kind of do the maintenance, but you got to make sure that your methylation function is high. you've got to make sure that you're getting in those methylated B vitamins. MTFHR, we talk a lot about folic acid, and we should, because folic acid is a big part of brain health, pregnancy and fertility, and just general overall function. However, B6 is also very important. B2 is very important, specifically to sleep. And, I talk about sleep all the time. So if you're not going to get your methylated B vitamins up for your liver, so your liver can clean itself, it can clean the whole body, it can get everything where it's supposed to be, you can pull out all the waste, then you're going to have problems. If you don't have the B2 and B6, you're going to start to have biochemical issues. Like I talked about with the gallstones, you're going to have issues there. In Eastern medicine, they refer to the liver as the seat of anger. And so very often, it's not every time, but very often as we're testing somebody, and the way I like to do my testing for the you guys who have not seen me test, my father or whoever I'm working with will talk to the patient, explain what's going on, do the whole thing, and then I come in and I test them, I give my recommendations, and I leave. And then Bill, my father, goes through and explains everything we found and does all the thera and resets everything. However, when I like to walk in not knowing what's going on, because it doesn't cloud my testing. And so then I can test everybody, and I can walk through and go, you walk into rooms and forget why you go in there. You lose track of your conversations in the middle of your sentence. You wake up between 2 and 4 in the morning. You have more anxiety than you feel you should, like those type of things. Because as you test the body, that's how you find these things out. And when we go to liver, the liver's real congested. You've got parasites, and you've got, really heavy stuff. You need lots of B vitamins. You need lots of, gallbladder work or common bile duct work or whatever. Typically I'll ask, how do you feel like you're an angry person? And very rarely do people go, yeah, I feel like I'm an angry person. But then I go through and I ask them, like, how's your temper? And they go, sometimes I lose my temper faster than I think I should. Or I'll ask the specific question. I'll be like, have you ever gotten really mad and super pissed off whether you said or did anything? Your blood just boils and you're just, Murr! And then like 30 minutes later, an hour later, you think back on it and you're like, why'd that make me so mad? That wasn't that big of a deal. Those temper things are what we're talking about from the Eastern medicine. They actually call it angry man syndrome. So that's one of the things we see a lot. And so as we start cleaning the body up, one of the things I'll ask is, have you noticed that you're more calm, more relaxed? Like, things that normally would have just super pissed you off, or it's just, they're irritating now. Used to be a 6 or a 7, now it's a 3 or 4. And the vast majority of the time, people are like, yeah, I have noticed that. What's really interesting is when we get husband and wife pairs in. I love working on husband and wife teams. That is probably my favorite way to do this. For real quick on that one, because if husband and wife are paired and they're on the same drive, they're on the same purpose, they're looking for the same thing, they're working together to get somewhere, you're going to get there a lot faster. Because now you have two people pushing in the same direction, supporting each other, motivating each other. You're working on this as a team. The days where you don't feel like doing it, you're like, well, I don't want to stop because I don't want to mess up her journey. Or, she says the same thing. So working with the husband and wife is always awesome. That's why I give such a big discount for working with both at the same time. But it's funny. We'll get women in and I'll ask the guy, I'm like, how's your temper? Totally fine. And the wife will just laugh. And then it's funny because like we both look at her and she's like, sorry. And the husband will usually be like, oh, am I grouchier than I should be? And she just kind of, so that's one of those things. A lot of times people don't notice it. The outside factors notice it, but that's the other thing. That's the Eastern medicine piece. So as you start to clean the liver up and the liver starts cleaning the body up, the aches and the pains start calming down. The fatigue, the energy, the fatigue goes down, the energy comes up. And one of the reasons for that is that the waste that your body is pulling out of it, that your liver is sucking out, is acidic waste. Acidic waste is very powerful is very high in reactive oxidative stress markers. Oxygen is what the body uses to denature a lot of free radical stress or reactive oxidative stress problems. And so as the liver pulls all that waste out, your body now has more oxygen to spend on other things like creation of energy. And so all of a sudden pain starts going away, energy starts coming up, people start feeling better again, just because we're cleaning the liver. So that's one of the big pieces. Like we always talk about, health is good chemicals in, bad chemicals out. The bad chemicals out is kidney and liver. Get those two clean, you're going to be a lot better off. Good chemicals in is gut. Well, here's the thing: if your gut's inflamed, you can't heal the gut. So you have to start with liver and kidneys. So you start flushing the waste out, decreasing the inflammation of the gut, so that you can go back through and actually heal the gut. And so that's why I always tell people liver is my favorite place to start, because you can't really get anything in the body to clean or to reset without cleaning the liver. Again, this isn't necessarily, I guess you can call it my protocol, but it's kind of how the body works. So whenever the waste disposal issues get clogged up and backed up, and you have, literal organic waste, trash, crap laying all around, it's really hard to feed and nurture the cells, heal, regenerate, and repair. So if you guys are thinking of where should you start, kidney castor packs, just to get that out of the way, and then coffee enemas would be a great addition. Methylated B vitamins, the full spectrum methylated B vitamin would be great. There's a lot of parasites that hit the liver. And so cleaning those out is a great option. And guess what? Coffee enemas are a phenomenal way of cleaning the parasites in the intestines and in the liver. So that's why we always go back to coffee enemas, because you can do so much with them. So if you guys are looking for the next thing that you want to start working on, start looking at your liver. If you need some help, we can help you out, but the liver is going to be the big piece. So we're getting some good questions, so keep them coming. Questions at chalmerswellness.com, and I will see you guys later.